Hello, graphic novel literature students. Welcome to the video for week 7, day 2. This video is designed for those students who are absent from our live Zoom class. As a reminder, everything you say, do, or type is recorded, so please keep it school appropriate. And as always, there is no saving, downloading, or taking pictures of our class ever. If you look at our agenda for today, we met in small groups to discuss one scene from the first 10 pages or so of your selected text. And then the rest of the time after that discussion was yours to work on continuing to read your selected text and take notes on important scenes that you may want to use in your analysis common task later. To get this set up, I asked students to open their selected text in one window or tab, and then the analysis common task, discussion, and personal notes sheet in another tab. You'll see that listed under day 2 of this week. Let's take a look at the sheet, right? If you look at it, right, the discussion from the first, oops, and there's a typo, I need to fix that. From the first day of class, right? Here you would put in whichever page numbers we looked at together in the small group. You would copy down the questions, which you'll see in this video, that I posed about those panels or about that scene, right? And then our answers through our discussion in this box here on the right. The next time we do this in class, right, next week, you'll have an opportunity to do this again, right, with a new set of pages and a new set of questions with a different scene. And then you'll notice that I've left here, it says copy and paste an empty chart above for additional discussion dates, right? So should we have more opportunities to work on those or to have further discussions, you can just kind of keep adding charts as you go. Eventually, what you'll do is you'll add in your own selected scene, right? One that we did not discuss together, and fill out that chart that you see at the bottom of the screen, right? The pages that you want to analyze. Then what were your observations about the author's use of things like color, transitions, masking, closure, iconography, etc.? And why do you think the author made those choices, right? How are they impacting the story? How are they impacting the story's message? And or how are they impacting the reader? Okay. So the way that this works, right, is I'll discuss at least 2 of these scenes with you in small groups, right? One from the start of the text today, right, or during class, and then one from something later in the text. And then you use those to kind of record your notes, etc., add additional charts as you need. And then you complete this bottom one using a scene from somewhere towards the end of the text. It doesn't have to be like the last chapter, but it should definitely be from much later in the text. That way you have a beginning, middle, and end to kind of discuss. And then basically, just like I showed you earlier this week, you'll be able to recycle the answers from here to turn into your analysis paragraphs, which will become your common task essay. If you have questions about this, please make sure that you attend student support. I'll go review those times with you in a minute at the end of this video. And so I just asked people to kind of read before I pulled them into individual breakout rooms to do our discussion. So for this next part, right, I'm going to very quickly go over the 4 different texts and like the 4 scenes that I pulled. You would just focus on your text. Obviously, you don't need to worry about the other ones that you're not reading. And then as far as trying to make up this conversation, I would suggest that you attend during student support, and then we can just have a quick one-on-one conversation about this. Or you could try working with somebody else who you know is also reading the same text from our class. So if you selected Fun Home, right, we looked at page 7 in these panels, right? I would suggest you please pause the video here and look at these questions. And then, well, I'll read through the questions, then you can pause it. But then answer those questions to the best of your ability, but then also attend student support. So first, make sure that you reread the panels. And then the 4 questions that I have are, who is Icarus and what is his story? What transitions do you see here? How are these transitions helping the reader understand the narrator's story? And what iconography is happening in the last panel? Right? The hint, focus on the word martyred here. And then the overall question that you're trying to kind of answer here is, what devices does the author use to convey a message in this scene? And what is that message? If this is your scene, please pause the video here, write those, copy those questions into the box and put in your answers and put in page 7. Okay, moving on to the next one. If you are reading Mouse, right, we looked at page 17. Right, take a moment to reread these panels. And then the questions you're answering. Where and when is the narrator speaking? What is a silhouette and how is it being used here? What transitions do you see here? And how are the transitions helping the reader understand the narrator's story? Your overall question at the bottom, what devices does the author use in this scene? And then what purpose do these devices serve? What are they doing for this scene? Please pause the video here if this is yours and copy your questions. Okay. If you're reading Persepolis, we looked at pages 8 and 9. Okay. Take a moment to review those panels and then take a moment to copy your questions down and pause the video. Who is the figure in all white? And how can you tell? What is this technique called? What transitions do you see here? How are the transitions helping the reader understand the narrator's story? How does the author use the voice and thought bubbles in panel 9 and 10 up here, right? 9 and 10 in that scene, and what purpose do those devices serve? Or sorry, for what specific purpose? Then your overarching question is what device or what devices does the author use in this scene and what purpose do they serve? Please pause the video here and copy your questions. Okay, and then the last one, right? If you're reading Blankets, we looked at page 20 and 21. Take a moment to reread the panels and then copy your questions down. What do you notice about panels 4 and 12? Why do you think the author chose to draw them this way, right? For what purpose? What transitions do you see here? How are the transitions helping the reader understand the narrator's story? And how does the author show the passage of time in panels 5 and 6? This is panel 5, and below it is panel 6. And then your overall arching question is, what devices does the author use in this scene, and what purpose do these devices serve? Please pause the video here and copy your questions. Okay, and that was everything that we worked on in class, right? Your action items are to continue reading your text, right? You should be read up to these pages before our next class, depending on which text you're reading. You'll notice that the pages are very different, right? 54 for Fun Home, 69 for Mouse, 86 for Persepolis, or 129 for Blankets. The reason that these numbers are different is because of the number system that the PDFs use, right? But they're actually all the same marker. They're all asking you to read at least the first 2 chapters, right, or sections of your text. And some of them just have way more words than others, right? And some are, like Blankets and Persepolis in particular, are more visual heavy, right? Not so many words, but lots of pictures to look at. So make sure that you read up to those pages, right? Continue reading your text. As a reminder, if you need to do a discussion with me, right, academic check-ins on Wednesdays are from 12:55 to 1:15. But I'm always available from 7:45 to 8:45, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday morning. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in class.